once you have a team, there's people depending on you, and now you have everything that needs to work out. And so that puts a greater pressure on you to succeed. Have you ever actually failed trying to pursue a deal, and what did that feel like?
Yeah, two instances. One was a little bit earlier on when I was trying to kind of build up. There was a 6-unit that I wanted to buy, and it seemed really good. I was jaded by the hunger, though. I was too hungry, you could say, and I kind of ignored some red flags. And anyways, I found somebody that wanted to partner on the deal because I didn't have the money, and it was just the two of us.
Sure.
We worked out an agreement where I'd basically run the entire deal, he would fund it, and we had a split. And it was very catered towards him, which was one of the red flags, but it made sense for me at the time, or so I thought. Because again, I was more focused on unit count numbers, not cash flow. Critical mistake. But anyways, we hustled. We got it done. We bought it. And I left closing, and it was the most weird experience where usually you're so fired up at closing, you're so proud. Yeah. And I remember driving home just going like, man, holy shit, something's off. Like, I don't know. And it's funny because my girlfriend at the time, or maybe she's my fiance, I don't know, whatever we were at the time, we went to the beach that weekend and just kind of like relaxed and celebrated. And I was like losing my mind. Something was on. I just was like, man, I don't think I can handle this. I think I made a mistake. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, went home. I talked to him. I thought through this extensively. And I realized I shouldn't have gotten into this deal. And it was a great deal, but not for me because I was trying to go bigger, faster. And this would have held me back is the long story. So I talked to him. And I said, hey, man, like, I'm sorry to do this, but, I gotta bounce. It's all yours. Here's all the people you need. And thanks. And so I separated from that. And thankful I did. And again, more story.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's interesting. I'm just curious. Like, so you're listening to your gut and your intuition is telling you, something's not right here. What made you feel like that? Because like you said, like most of the time when someone's buying a property, it's like, yeah, let's go. Although not every deal is good, but I'm just curious, was it something specifically? Was it the partnership? Was it how it was being managed? Was it maybe not a cash? I'm just curious, what made you feel like that?
Yeah, I think I was jaded by like the size of the building at the time and kind of like it was right on the corner of where a lot of my other buildings were. So everything seemed to make sense. But I just kept getting this feeling that it wasn't worth it. And it was kind of like a gut pull of like, something's not right. This isn't worth it. It's not worth the time. And I kept ignoring it. And when I finally dug into, okay, why am I keep feeling like this, especially after we bought it? And I, really dove in. I realized, it wasn't worth it. Like, yeah, I could make some money, but it wasn't worth the cost, the time, and all the effort. It wasn't really where I wanted to go. Like, I thought that's where I wanted to go, and I didn't. So
Sure. So in hindsight, I'm just curious, do you feel like your intuition proved you right, or there was really no way of telling?
Every single time. It's always right.
It did.
Always right. Yeah. Thankful I didn't do that. It would have held me back majorly.
Yeah, man. Interesting, man. I find myself to be a pretty intuitive person, and I would like to kind of actually dive a little bit deeper into that because I tend to trust my intuition a lot, but I don't understand. Sometimes your intuition isn't rooted in facts. It's just like a feeling. And I'm kind of curious, when do you know to follow that intuition versus to just follow like logic? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. Do you ever, is it just me? I get that a lot.
It's so funny because I was just having this conversation with one of my my coaching students. And so he asked literally the same question. And we had this whole conversation. And what I boil it down to, and I'm sure it's slightly different for everybody, but what I boil it down to is when you have this feeling, but you can't explain why, is when you need to dig into it further and you know it's a problem. Because if I have a bad feeling, but I know what the reason is, well, it's the reason then. It's part of the situation and it's probably explained away. It could just be fear. It could be whatever. But like, there's a reason. For instance, like, let's say we're buying this 12 unit, we need to go bridge debt, and I get like, a bad feeling. Well, I have a bad feeling because I'm nervous because I don't know. I don't have experience with this thing before. There's a lot of uncertainty there. And then once you get on the other side, you're comfortable. Yeah, I do that again. That was great. I'm glad that worked out. So the bad feeling was rooted in uncertainty or just kind of fear.
Sure.
But if the bad feeling cannot be explained, aka this 6 unit, everything seemed to make sense. I couldn't tell you why I needed to walk away other than it just didn't work. It just didn't feel right, but I just knew I had to. I can't tell you. I just can't explain it completely. And I'm so thankful I did because it would have ended in disaster. And a quick anecdote, another thing, there's a 13 unit we were offering on. We would have had it accepted. We were talking with the seller. We were sleeping on it. It was Nate and I at the time. We were trying to figure out if we should dive into it or not. I was like, man, I don't know. Something just feels wrong. The numbers made sense, so we could have forced it. And I kept talking about it. Man, I don't know. Something's off. I don't know. Something's off. Let it go. We walked away. A week later, the place burned to the ground. And you just can't make this stuff up.